Stogel, Japajivkita, Marissa Deere Alberson Noes. Hello, my name is Marissa Deere Alberson. I'm a descendant of the Muskogee and Seminole people. I'm a seamstress, a weaver, a beater, and the artist behind Deere Woman Design. I draw my inspiration from the love of my family and my strong heritage. Although I'm still learning, I'm using my cultural knowledge to teach others. A little of how I got started was as a little girl growing up in a native household. I watched my mother and my grandmother sew. They created such beautiful creations that inspired me to pick up sewing. It was almost as if it was a rite of passage. My mother gave me this sewing machine when I decided to learn. She gave me the opportunity to take the immaculate designs in my head and turn them into such beautiful pieces of artwork. So here's the supplies you're going to need. I start with grabbing my tape measure, my fabric, my scissors or fabric blade, and my iron. So I have about 2 yards of pre-cut fabric, and I start by ironing out all of the wrinkles just to give me a nice clean base. I then take my tape measure and I measure it all the way down to where I would like my skirt to sit, giving myself 2 extra inches for my waist and about 1/2 inch for my hem. So after I have my desired length, I'm going to start by cutting my fabric all the way across. So an easier way to do this is by lining it up across this line and ironing a crease. And when you cut, you just follow along that line, giving yourself a nice clean cut. Now after you've cut your fabric, you're going to start by pinning your ribbons. So you gather your scissors, your ruler, your pins, and your ribbons. You take your ruler and you measure from the bottom of the skirt all the way to where you want the ribbons to sit, and you pin that in place. You want to keep this same length all the way across so that the ribbons are straight. So now that we have our fabric prepped, we're going to now turn over to our sewing machine. You gather your thread and you place it on the spoolie along with its cap. And you take that thread and you follow the numbers and you thread it all the way down to the needle. Now we're going to take that thread and slide it through our needle and then grab our bobbin, place it in, and you want to take that top thread separately, and as the needle goes down and back up, you're going to be pulling on the top thread, which helps pull the bottom thread up and out. So I have my settings already the way I like them. Now we're going to start by sewing along the bottom of the ribbon all the way down, and as you take that pin out, you want to keep your finger down so that way the ribbons stay where they're supposed to be, and you repeat this process with as many ribbons as you would like. You iron the hem and the waistband just to keep everything proportional. After that's done, you want to line up your ends and sew all the way up to the waistband, leaving that open so you can put your elastic in. What I like to do is get a safety pin and pin it to the end of my elastic to make it easier to pull through the waistband. And remember, as you're pulling through, you want to pull the fabric down so that your fabric does not get bunched up. The elastics should then go all the way through and out and meet at the other end. You then sew your elastic slowly, cutting off the excess, closing the skirt, and then you have a finished product.